Alright, I haven't made a video in a long time. Um, Mainly because if you see around, the shop looks very different. It's because I'm in a different shop. Um, there's going to be a couple of videos on why. But long story short, I'm in a new shop. It's far nicer. It's more expensive, unfortunately. But today is a pretty important day. So I've been in here since the first of the year. It's now February 26th, and I finally got the first job of the new shop out. And just I'm gonna do something different with this a little bit. I'm gonna kind of track this because I said that I'm gonna, I'm restarting how I'm making everything successful, and I'm restarting how it is, and I'm gonna document the process. So this is part of that, right? And so I shouldn't be sharing this kind of stuff because, I mean, realistically, who does? But here it is. I'm not gonna. I gotta cover up the name and stuff. Okay. $750 for a check. The job I just did took me realistically like 4 days, 5 days to do. He prepaid me already $600 for parts. So I didn't quite spend all of that on parts. I ended up like spending, it was like $500 or something like that. So I made $100 there. So I made $850 in 4 or 5 days. And that sounds like, holy shit, that's a lot. But the thing is that I haven't made a dime since basically Thanksgiving. So it's like, what happened, right? And like I said, I'll make some more videos on that. But the whole point is that with the move, I wasn't able to do all that stuff. I couldn't do anything besides get moved, really. It was a complete full-time job. It was 14-ish hours a day, every single day, looking for buildings, finding buildings, looking at them, meeting up with landlords, talking to towns about whether or not I could move my business, and blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I'm here. It took a long time, and then I took even longer time to set up, right? My dad actually just put the lift up for me because I was doing other stuff at the same time, trying to get this all together, and I did a project on the ground that I just finished on the lift because, thanks to him putting the lift up for me, because I was going to do it after the project, and it probably would have taken me twice as long because he's just way better at that stuff, but the fact remains is that it happened, so I had to put it up. As you see on my lift, there's a Corvette there. I finished the car that guy gave me that paycheck an hour and a half ago. And since then, I've been moving stuff around and rearranging the shop. So I get this Corvette out of its place that it was sitting in and into the lift area. And now I'm putting tools away, I'm cleaning up the space and everything to make sure I'm prepped for the next one so it's not just a shithole. Because one of the biggest problems of the last shop was it was a shithole. It was horrible there, right? And because of that, I hated being there. There was a lot of reasons I hated being there, but one of the main ones was it was a shitty shed-like area that when it rained, I'd be under like a third of the floor would be underwater. And I couldn't do anything in it, right? So now I'm in a different place, and I'm treating it better. I need to treat it better. I need to keep it better. Right now, if you look in the background as I'm walking around, and if you have it all in the video, you'll notice it's a mess here, but it's still far nicer than what it was before. And I'm able to wander around in a much bigger area while I talk because I'm terrible at this. And it's because the shop is larger, and it's because I've been making sure that it's more organized. And that's what's taking so long for me to get to work, right? Is that instead of just hurry up and hit the ground running and get moving on getting it done, I spent a lot of time on organizing, probably too much time on organizing, using hindsight. But it's because I'm not effective at doing that in the first place. I have no idea where stuff should go. I have no idea how I should arrange it in the best way. So there was a lot of moving something somewhere, then looking at it, then moving it another place, then looking at it, and just being very indecisive, and because I want this to be perfect. And I can't rush that, but I also can't just like do nothing. So I have to find some sort of balance in the middle. And I'm not a very balanced person. I'm very much like an all or nothing, send it type of guy. And so that kind of screws me in that respect, but you know, I have to do it. And so basically you can assume that up until this point I have $0. Actually, I think my bank account right now is overdrafted by $11. And I'm about to go put this check in for $750, and I have $750. It was the 26th of February, 2020, and my rent is due on Monday, and I'm going to probably have to borrow it, and that sucks, but I'm going to have to do it, and luckily I'm fortunate enough to have that option, and a lot of people don't, but I do, sort of. It's like really not a good situation for me to do what I'm about to do, and I'm making like kind of a really shitty deal for myself in order to make it happen. But I'm in my dream building, I'm doing what I love, and I'm going to make it worth it, right? And so I said I'm going to document, you know, my fixing of all the shitty stuff I've done and fixing of my situation and improving everything, and this is it. That was the first check of, you know, hopefully, right, many. And I was able to do that. And, you know, you think, some people look at that and be like, well, $750 for a week of work, that's a lot. Or $750 for a week of work, that isn't shit. You know, it depends on your perspective. But, you know, at this time, $750 for a week of work is far better than $0 that I've made for the last almost 12 weeks. And so the situation I'm in because of that sucks. And the situation I was in because of, you know, what led to that sucks worse. But it had to be done in order to get to where I am. And more progress will be made on these, you know, types of videos now because of it, because I was gone for so long, mainly because I had to move and I didn't have the luxury of help. I didn't have the ability to spend time still making and creating and building cars and making money off of that, because I spent all of the time finding a new place to go. And so what little money I had, which wasn't much, disappeared like that. And the rest of the money I've had to make a pretty shitty deal in order to make this work, honestly, in order to not be homeless, in order to not go out of business, in order to be able to feed my kids, in order to be able to look at my kids in the eyes and know I'm not screwing them over, in order to not only do all that, but also follow, you know, my dream of what I think I'm meant to do. And so that was I hate this term, but necessary evil. And so now this check, this one little piece of paper, is step one. It's like step 350 million, whatever. But the fact is that this is the first proof. This little piece of paper is proof that I am headed back in the right direction. I'm now going to start climbing that rock slide. And this was my first non-conceptual step. This is the first tangible thing. This is the first actual leap ahead. I've made a lot of strides and a lot of preparation and a lot of setup so I can get to this point. And now here I am, basically cashing it in. And so this is step one. Let's get to step two, which is that thing sitting right there. The last car is gone less than 2 hours ago at this point. I don't know how long I've been ranting. And I'm already ready to do the next one. I'm going to go get this check in the bank right away so I can eat tonight. And then I'm going to get back here and get back to work. That's it. So, yeah. See you guys soon.